All right. Welcome back, card friends.
How's everybody doing?
Pumped to be here again and chatting with you guys. And for those of you that are new here, I'm Kev,
And I'm Joe.
and we are the Card Friends. And for those of you that are new here, once again, both Joe and I are both lifelong friends, both tech guys by day, both dads, and both diehard collectors. And we've created Card Friends to recreate the feeling of you just sitting, chatting shop with some of your friends, talking about cards, talking about collectibles. We're not exactly hype guys, influencers, flippers, anything crazy like that. We're just two lifelong friends that love talking cards and collectibles. So we started Card Friends.
We realized that there was nothing out there for people like us. And now we're going around talking to people, letting them know about the podcast. And lo and behold, we're finding new card friends around every corner. It feels like everyone seems to agree that this was something that the people needed. So, Kevin, I'm glad to work with you to bring it to everyone.
To bring it to life. I love working with you and the Card Friends, right? This is a bit of a community here. Last week, we dropped our Card Collecting 101 episode and got a lot of good feedback on socials, right? Joe and I were both traveling last week, so I want to issue a formal apology to the Card Friends. We got a lot of DMs, feedback, comments on the show. And first of all, thank you. But apologies, it's been taking us so long to respond to some of the comments, trying to play catch up because both of us were on the road, it's a little behind, but we're catching up. Promise to get to everybody soon.
Yeah, and if anyone can guess where I was, it rhymes with... Kev, you want to take the first guess? It rhymes with San Francisco.
Okay, fair enough. I see it all over you. Painted.
Yeah,
I like that
so-
hat, by the way. I love that hat.
You know what I did before I went out there? Scope the scene. San Francisco is lacking in LCSs. So if there's any card friends out there who know of some spots, the tourists know.
And yeah, so last week we talked about Card Collecting 101. And like I said before, we got a lot of good feedback on that. So for this episode, we figured we'd talk about the then versus now. Like what's changed in the hobby, do a quick snapshot of what the hobby used to be and what it used to feel like for us, talk about what's actually changed, talk about the prices, right? Is it really more expensive now? And all the types of new personalities, personas, and collectors that come along with it. And, we'll rate it. Like, is it better? Was it better then? Or is it better now? We'll talk about that and discuss that. And of course, we'll give some of our takes and advice for some of the returners, trying to untangle this crazy world of the hobby. But I think the best place to start is the then versus now. So let's rewind and talk a little bit about what the hobby used to feel like for us. So, Joe, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, but hold on. Before I do that, I want to say, let's get into it. All right. Yeah. So the then versus now, I will say one thing that stands out the most for me is the card stock itself. I think junk wax error, like that card stock, sometimes you see it with like Heritage and stuff, but even Heritage is, I think, of a higher quality stock, but like that true junk wax stuff, like it's pretty gross. It's like straight up cardboard. So that for one, Kev.
So for me, it's like just like the general, like how much of like what's that worth and the money and like the stock market feel of it all. It just didn't exist back in the day. Like I just remember simply like buying packs at like my local, convenience store, putting it in a binder, maybe putting it in a sleeve and a top loader. Right. So I didn't really care about like comps. Yeah, I didn't really care about like the price. Like if I had to look up the price, obviously I cared a little bit about it because I'd buy those like Beckett magazines where you'd have to like go in and flip through the pages and dive in and really look at what the price is. And who knows if that was even really the price or not, because like the comps weren't so readily accessible, and that's the comparable cost. Fast forward, now you have a million different databases, online marketplaces, live auctions, hype guys, all the content that's out there, like in your face, right? So just the overall, just general cost and value, I think it's just at the forefront and center. And don't get me wrong, like I love to have a very, very, very rare, valuable card, and I care about the cost of my collection. But I don't know, when it just flipped the overall price of thing, it's kind of desensitizes me to the magic a little bit. I don't know if I'm describing that right, but it's just kind of how I feel a little bit.
Do you think it has anything to do with like, we were younger back then. And so like, I wonder, I guess it's kind of hard to I went in every time looking for packs, right? Like I feel like now it's kind of like, were people buying boxes back then?
And
Were people
holding
buying
it.
cases back then?
People
I don't
probably
know.
were. Yeah, probably just
Like,
because we were younger. Yeah, I'd love to hear from some of the older card friends out there and kind of what their take was if like they were saving the sealed wax of the junk wax era.
because as a kid, like I didn't even, I wasn't considering anything other than a pack. But if, I guess it depends. Like early '90s. Well, let's just fast forward to 96, 97, and 2000. Right, we'll like use those. So in 2003, so like Topps Chrome with LeBron James, 2003, Tom Brady, Bowman, 2020, and then like all the sets in 96 and 97 with like Kobe, AI, all those guys. Those boxes, MSRP, probably were, I'm not a good mental math guy, but I think under $50, right? Like probably around like, do I dare say the price of a blaster today?
Think about that. That's pretty crazy and to think about that. And I wonder if we're going to see the same level of return for the blasters that we're getting now. I don't personally believe
No
so,
way.
but no way, right? Because they're so, yeah. So are we in another kind of junk wax overprinting era? I think about that a lot.
Think about like I just think of the paper sets like Don Russ and Hoops. The amount of stock that got printed to find a one of one is literally like worse than a diamond in the rough. It feels like.
Yeah. And I wonder how people like shared and showed off their collections. And I guess there wasn't, a whole ton to share. And obviously there was some chase cards. There was like some of the diamond cut cards, but there wasn't this idea of like serial or a whole ton of autos out there. There was, but they started to come on the scene, like serial numbers and
Yeah,
memorabilia cards and auto cards, right? So like I wonder how like pre-internet popularity and like everyone having a smartphone in their pocket, being able to take a picture of it, like how people shared and stored up their collections. My guess is it probably was more card shows and just like local get-togethers or something like that, right?
the coolest kids were riding dirty with them in the spokes of their tires and like riding up to the playground or the ball field. Timmy's got the old Mickey Mantle on the spokes.
Imagine being that guy, having the Mickey Mantle just riding on your spokes. My father would always talk about that. He'd be like throw them against the wall or riding around with his spokes.
Oh, when people play in like
Can't even
some game
imagine.
where they would like flick it.
Against the wall, yeah. I think that was like a popular game for our parents, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure we could look at this with rose tinted glasses all day. But like, let's talk about like what's actually truly changed with the hobby, right? And for
Yep.
me, one of the biggest things that's changed with the hobby is just the explosion of grading. And it kind of goes back to the point I was talking about earlier when I was talking about just the overall cost is in your face.
Yeah.
So I don't think back in the day like PSA, BGS, SGC, and some of the other ones, they probably existed, but I don't know. They weren't such a household name. And things like population reports, value multipliers, what grade do you have, right? Like the whole big business of cards, scene and grading and slabs, like that just wasn't there, right?
And now it feels like if you don't have graded cards, then I don't want to say you're not cool, but you might not be considered like a serious collector, especially if you're going to like roll up to a show or if you want to trade, you know, some big boy cards and you're talking like serious investments. I would want those to be graded. I would want to be able to show proof of authenticity, and I would feel better that the thing's in that protective case. So I guess it's got its good and its bad. For me, it just pains me to like pay more to just you're investing more in the same card. I guess it comes down to the collector, but it seems like more and more people are doing it, right? They want to do it. Is that because of there's more action in the trade market?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps. It adds like that layer of like authenticity. It adds that layer of safety, right? So I don't look at that as necessarily a bad thing. It's like anything. There's a lot of good that comes with that, right? Because I'm not sure back in the day if there's a lot of like counterfeit cards or fake cards out there. I'm sure there always has been, right? Yeah. So having a reputable company go in and authenticate those cards for you, especially things like autographs too, right? Like that definitely helps, right? But with that coming to the forefront, it's turned cards definitely in the big business, right? More of a business side, more of a bit of a stock market, like I was saying.
That's nice though, because I think we want that as like a community and this bunch of card friends, because that it holds the value, or in my opinion, it allows the card to hold value and appreciate in value, right?
Oh, oh yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I mean, definitely helps you protects the cards too, protects your investment. And yeah, and you talked about it earlier, like the community of things overall, right? I think that's changed a lot, right? And you know what else is piling on top of kind of the grading focus is all the new voices. And ironically enough, we're kind of one of the voices now, right? Just getting started, of course, but the breakers, the YouTubers, the podcasts, TikTokers, whatnot streamers, right? Like the entertainment business is now part of collecting, and that's a dynamic that definitely wasn't there when we were starting out collecting many years ago.
No, and it's affecting it so much. Like there's boxes now that are called Breaker's Delight, right? It's kind of sad, right? Because they juice them, they juice those boxes.
I do, yeah. It's definitely a little unfair, but I think overall, all the focus, all the attention, and the entertainment factor, it's good for the hobby. It keeps it healthy, it keeps it at the forefront for people, keeps like the news cycle going, right? So I think it's only going to help more people get into it, make it more noticed by people who maybe haven't tried it yet or wanting to get back into it, right? So I think overall it's good, but it definitely can be overwhelming for sure.
I'm just looking for the cards. I don't really care what kind of box it's in, what shape the box is, how many packs are in the box, what's guaranteed in the box, what's, what parallels you're going to get in this box versus that box. Like,
yeah,
is it first off the line? It's a lot, man. I think we could do a whole episode just on this.
You're 100% right. And plus, there's all these new terms, and we talked about it in our last episode. So if you want to hear the definitions of some of these terms, we defined them back in episode 4. We broke it all down in Hobby 101 Collecting. But terms
I used them in a sentence.
Yep, Joe helped us break it down using a sentence. But terms like RPA, SSPs, case hits, numbers, all the colors, the parallels that exist, right? Like, I feel like and people want those, and I personally love them as well. But I think the focus on the base card, like I think base cards really don't matter anymore as much as they once did, right?
Not at all, man. I mean, I'm donating my base cards, just because. Yep. I was thinking about this last night, actually. You could, if you wanted to. I don't know if there's buyers out there, but I just think of like time is a big thing too, right? So if we were to take the time to sell even the base cards individually for, I mean, if you could get $1, that'd be insane. But like even like 10 cents, it's just like, is it worth the time,
Right, to sort them all through. I mean, people like that. People like collecting full sets. Like I've talked about this in a previous episode.
That's true.
Previous episode, like I'm collecting the full vintage base set, so I think it's good that they do it, because what if someone years down the road wants to come back and collect the whole set of the 2025 rookie class of some sport, or the 2025 Scarlet and Violet Pokemon set, right?
That's so true.
I think it's good for the longevity that they keep doing it. But part of me for a little bit was like, why don't they just make products and just put the hits and like roll the dice in the hits? But then I don't know. Again, takes it away from the magic. And I think there are products that are like that for sure.
Yeah, my cousin, he's a set collector too. We're gonna have him on the podcast.
I know, we gotta bring him in. Gotta bring in more card friends too. It's mainly been just you and I, but more card friends coming soon to the podcast.
Yeah, that's on the roadmap. Brady Bunch with the card friends.
I love it.
Ooh, there might be something there.
I can't wait. Yeah, and I think the natural next thing is like the question I get all the time is the hobby more expensive now? And the answer is yes. Talked about this before. Sticker shock for people coming new to the hobby is definitely a real thing, and you'll be surprised at how much the price of entry has changed. It's definitely more expensive, but the hits are more expensive, right? So it's no shock that the cost of entry is higher, because if you do get a hit of some of these short print cards, some of these rare pulls, you can get a monster card, right? So I think that's definitely driving the prices up for sure.
And then on the flip side, something that I guess you don't consider in the moment, but some of the cards that are commanding like the huge bucks, like the ones that are from like the Brady's and the Mantles, like those have aged, right? Like fine wine. So like these big hits now, right? 20 years from now, is it going to be 10x. To go back to our first segment, Kev, like about the what's changed, what's new, what's different. It's definitely a market.
Totally. And there's more online marketplaces to buy too, right? Like eBay,
It's
I feel
true.
like has been like one of the first ones and the one's been here. But you think about like PWCC, whatnot, Discord, Instagram, like there's just so many markets where people are, buying and trading, selling. And I think that card shows are definitely a big thing, and people are doing the in-person card show things. But with all the markets that are out there, I think it's obviously definitely driving and impacting the overall cost of these cards. And people do things like repacking as well. So they'll pay money to package these hits back up. But plus, not to get, and this is probably a little off topic, but sports are growing at a much higher rate, right? They're more popular than ever. You're seeing these TV contracts like NFL, NBA, and other sports skyrocketing, and the contracts are crazy.
It's
So,
insane.
it's just the natural order of things. So, yeah, but I also think too, with all the new markets and obviously the price changes, there comes a lot of new collectors coming into the hobby, right? It's not just collectors anymore, right? You've got people doing flipping. You talked about it last week where we're like, people are getting into the hobby for the money. So you got flippers, investors, people trying to sell you something on whatnot, right? And these are all people that are definitely influencing both the prices as well as just the hobby in general.
Trip down memory lane. This is something I'll never forget, and I hope you don't mind. But the I downloaded Whatnot and I immediately uninstalled it. Joining those rooms felt like you were going to a Celtics playoff game or a Patriots game, and the scalpers were out there. And your favorite term, walking up to a game to confuse the scalpers. Who's buying? Who's selling? Who's buying? Who's selling? It's like, dude, you go into the room and you're like, piece of meat. There's probably pockets of card friends that take care of each other, but from the surface, it does not appear so.
So you don't like that feeling of like coming in and be like, "Hey, what's up, card friend Joe? Like, you want to buy this for $10? You want to buy this for $20? I also got a sale going for
No,
49
dude, it's like
bucks, right?" Yeah, it's like,
uh,
yeah,
it's like walking into a department store or any store. Can I help you? I'm a customer service guy. Like, I was a waiter my whole life and stuff, so I get it. But like, I'm a grown man. I can find my way. So if I need help, I'll ask. If I want to buy that card, I'll ask. But I don't know. I mean, you gotta, I guess, can't knock the hustle. Whatever. It's
I
moving the
know.
product around.
I was just gonna
It's
say,
getting more
yeah.
people into it. I'm just
I was
just
just,
old,
I
grumpy.
was just, I was just gonna say, I respect, I respect the hustle for those guys, those people for sure. I'm not trying to knock on them. Like, people got to make a living, right? Got to sell stuff. I get it. But I think there's a, there's certain tastes of how you want to go about it, right? You don't want cards jammed down your throat, so being sold to you, right? You just, and most people aren't like that. I don't know too many people are like, yeah, I love it when people come up to me and just try to force sell me something. I think there's a, yeah.
While we're on this topic, real quick, Evan, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but NFTs were also a thing, and the virtual packs. Like, what? Come on.
Actually, someone
I
mentioned that
fell
in the
for that.
comments. Yeah,
I fell
someone
for
mentioned
that
that
for
in
a
the
minute.
comments.
Like, what was the NBA one that they did for a minute? Like, that was actually kind of electric, seeing that opening up. But
Oh, Top Shot, Top Shot.
oh
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I thought it
Top
was
Shot
big.
was sweet.
It's actually it's funny you say that, like, because like someone said, "Hey, you're both tech guys. Shouldn't you be getting into the NFT scene?" And
Negative
yeah, I mean, look,
tech guys, but smart enough to know freaking
yeah,
smoke and mirrors.
no, I
But
know,
who
yeah.
knows?
I
Could be
mean,
wrong. I didn't
I
buy
would,
Bitcoin when it first came out, so could be an idiot.
yeah. Listen, I was big on the Top Shot when it first came out. I thought it was going to follow the cryptocurrency path and become the new big thing. And I wouldn't say I took a serious loss on Top Shot. I just think the speculation was going to be much higher than it actually is. And I think there was like a lawsuit at some point in time that came down for Top Shot. I got like a check in the mail for like $2 or something like that. Yeah, like something happened with it, but it didn't quite take off. But I think it has legs. I think it will get there. I think digital collecting definitely has a place in the hobby, but I think that the physical card is king right now.
You know what I appreciate though is like with Magic the Gathering with like Arena, at least when you buy a pack, you get the redemption code. And like with the Pokemon, you get these like, I've been
I'm
considering
scanning that
redeeming
thing,
them
by the way.
or
For
like
those watching on YouTube, I'm scanning that and putting it in and get my free pack.
take it. Take it.
There you go. Free pack
Yeah, it
giveaway.
has not been redeemed, but yeah, no, I'm not redeeming these, but I'm thinking like down the road, who knows, Kev? Like maybe that is going to be the cool thing. And if you don't have a digital catalog, then you're a squid.
I see it, man. I think the NFTs are definitely something that will come down the road. Yeah.
I will say I love art. That's one of the things that I enjoy about the hobby. You know, obviously not so much with sports, although the aesthetic and design of the card is nice, but like the Pokemon cards and the Magic the Gathering cards, you know, illustrators do that and they do a damn good job and they're sick to look at. So if they can up their game and make the digital ones like sick, like if there's like a virtual reality showcase room that you could walk into and have like all your sick cards and like a podium around you, now we're talking. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think they got to
Hey,
integrate
Zuckerberg,
it.
call
Yeah.
us.
They got to integrate it into socials better. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, again, I see the for those who are wondering about what we think of NFTs, like I definitely see the potential. Just it's just not the right now for me. Definitely see the potential down the road though.
No, what was that app that you were messing around with and you connected with the CEO of it? Mantle?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if you make a new Mantle account right now, I'm pretty sure the CEO will probably just message you. He's
I think
very
it's a bot.
welcoming, cool
It's probably a
community.
bot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, it's a very cool community
If
overall.
it's
But
not a bot, then tell me it's not a bot when I do it, and then I'll be a customer forever, and we'll get it going on the conference because there seems to
definitely,
be a fit. I mean, I love that idea.
it's good.
Obviously,
I think it's needed. I think people the connection part of the hobby is definitely a real thing
yeah, man.
for sure.
Surround
One
yourself
final
with
thing,
people like you. Yep.
yeah. One final piece. I think the new collector types that are definitely didn't exist back in the day
Mm-hmm.
is just the celebrities getting involved with it. I mean, if you get like Tom Brady open up his card vault, right, and
That's
he's
cool.
getting involved in the scene. You got like people like Logan Paul wearing like the one of one Pikachu around his neck at WrestleMania. I even see like if you go on any if you're a follower of some of the big influencers out there, you'll see like a lot of celebs just ripping packs courtside, right? I saw
Mike
like
Trout.
CJ Stroud. Yeah, Mike Trout. I saw CJ Stroud just ripping packs. The Grant Williams, a former Celtics player, like he's
Love
like
him.
starting to get into it. Yeah, I love him too, right? Getting into
Oh,
the Pokemon scene. Like you definitely didn't have these celebs big into the card scene back in the day. At least I don't think. Maybe I'm mistaken, but
dude! Shout out Boston College, AJ Dillon, running back for the Packers. He was running breaks, and he's collecting. I remember seeing something. He collected Tucker Kraft's rainbow, I think, and Tucker Kraft was his rookie tight end that year, and was just kind of sick, right? So he's a card friend. AJ, love you. If you're ever back at Boston College, we'll take you to Eagles Deli and rip some packs.
love that. I love that. Yeah, I love seeing people getting back into it. I
Yeah, it's
always see
great,
videos
man.
of people like famous people and celebs walking like the showroom floor of card shows too. So don't be surprised if you're at a card show and you see someone walking around the scene that's getting back into it. I think that's so cool.
One more thing on that, I actually on eBay I sold a card of a baseball player who was in a system. I won't say the team, but he bought his own card. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's got to be
Pretty
a
sure it was
special
him,
meaning for some folks.
unless someone
Yeah,
had the same name. It was kind of a rare name, so I like to believe it was him.
I love that. I love that. That's so cool, and I think that's it. Just shows the growth of the hobby, and I think it's only going to continue growing. It's a really fun hobby, and I think people are going to continue on with this for sure.
Best hobby in the
So,
world, Kev.
so in your mind, though, do you think it's better or worse now? Do you miss the old times?
I do, but you can't go back to the way it was.
I know, I know. I think what I miss is simpler times. I definitely paid more attention to base cards. I'd be lying if I said like when I open packs these days, like I do it slow, but sometimes I'm just like right past the base cards and throw them aside. Don't really care. Look for the hits. Guilty as charged. Right.
Well, when you have some that are just, full of base, like Don Russ, or I'm specifically thinking Don
Hoops.
Russ.
Yeah.
Big
Hoops.
fat packs.
Yeah. There's
It's like,
definitely some product that give you a ton of base.
you learn over time, like there's never going to be anything hiding in there.
Yeah. I think I definitely miss the binders, the binder life. I still have some binders of my own. I know you should share them with me. You do too.
I just picked up a small one. Yeah.
But now it's all about slabs, and I've even got the slab case behind me. So I think I miss the binder life. I think that's fun. I definitely miss like not having to worry about like the hype cycle and the market pressure, meaning
You
like,
just didn't know,
oh
right?
yeah,
We
I
weren't
pulled this.
exposed to it.
Yeah, and like I can't even open a pack and like pull a hit and be like, oh no, like I gotta put it in
One touch,
a,
whatever.
a sleeve or a one touch and a top loader like instantly. Like I can't even look at it for a second. I gotta protect it because I gotta
Dude,
sell it and it's valuable. You know what I mean? Like that
like,
pressure is definitely there.
yeah, I like pre-slice the corners on my penny sleeves just so I don't nick the
I know.
corners. That's
Yeah,
sick. Isn't that sickening?
yeah, I know, man.
But actually,
It's
I
definitely a
mean, we
thing.
care about it, so yeah, I take pride in taking care of them.
Yeah, but I found myself the other day like opening Pokemon packs with my daughter, and I'm like, wait, be careful, that's like a good one. And it's like,
Oh my god.
that's you know what I mean? It's like I'm like, and I had to
Yeah,
check
you want
myself
to
and be
like
like,
include them, but you're like, oh,
oh, but what if it's that $1,500 Umbreon?
you're like
It's
watching
like,
with like one, like a,
I know, that's a real thing, man. And like if they nick the card, the value goes way down. So
yeah,
so that does rob you of the magic a little bit for sure. But
it
hey,
does.
there's way more access, way more variety these days. You talked about it earlier. The design of the cards and the quality of the cards, I think, is much better.
Yeah,
Right?
I wanted to bring up two stories. One from
Yeah.
the recent trip to the LCS when I asked the owners, and then another one from card friend Joe on the street. Update, little tip for the card friends. I'll start with the tip for the card friends. So I was out to breakfast this morning with the fam, and there was like a half-hour wait. So next to the breakfast place, there was one of those Family Dollars, and I went in there, we were poking around, and then I remembered, I remember someone saying that like Dollar Tree had cards. So I, you know, opened the eyes and started looking around, snooping about. Behind the counter, sitting against the glass, was three beautiful gravity feed boxes. That's another new
Nice.
thing. So we'll have to flash a picture of those up on the screen for the team and the friends who might not know what it looks like. So this place was busy, Kev. There was people behind me. So you know me, I don't really like, holding people up and stuff like that. Like just kind of irks me out. So the poor lady at the register, right? I go, they had Donruss, they had hoops, Donruss basketball and football. So I wanted to try to maybe get a shot at the downtown or the uptown, realizing they're probably not in the gravity feed boxes. There you go. Stuff's not in one box or the other. But I was trying to ask her how much they were. And, she grabbed a couple packs and was like, you want these ones? I was like, yeah, but I just want to know how much they are because it's going to depend on how many I get. And so she was all confused. And then I was like, and then the people were behind me. So I don't know how I did it, but I was just like, can you just please tell me how much one of them is? She scanned it. Guess how much it was?
$2, $3.
$1, 4 quarters.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
the boxes were full, dude. So I go, I'll take 10. Like in a panic, I just took 10. Walking out, there was a ton of people behind me. I turned to the wife and I go, should I go back and buy the rest of them? Like dead serious. And I'm glad I didn't, dude, because the gravity feed boxes have those yellow parallels and they're freaking gross. $10 down the drain. But guess what? They're going to the kids.
Hey, cheap fun rip, and then
Yeah, I know.
feel
So
good
that's what I was
story
going to say.
donation.
Like
Yeah.
if you're ever in a pinch, $1 a pack, can't beat it. And then the other story. So I want to get the LCS local card shop owners involved in this just because we love them. They're all great people. I was in one of ours yesterday, Kev. I think I've been there like 3 days in a row now. Paul's dying to get on the podcast. This shop is called P&T Sports Cards. I told him I'd shout it out. Hope you don't mind. Cut it out if we have to. But yeah, so P&T, it's in Whitman, Mass. And spoke with the card shop owners. I have a great relationship with them. And because he wants to get on the podcast, I kind of planted the seed and tested him out a little bit. I go, what's the number one question that you guys get asked all the time? Like, question that you get asked so much, like you're upset when people ask it at this point. And dude, I kid you not, she pulled out a piece of paper, laminated with the question on it. The question was, why are these boxes so expensive? And their response to that is, hold up the sign that says, I don't know, call Panini, call Fanatics. They set the price. And dude, these people, like, salt of the earth, people come in, sticker shocked, like you said. And yeah, I don't know. They end up buying a blaster when they come in there thinking they're going to make out like bandits.
Yeah. These are good, honest people trying to make a living. They have a reselling business, and the margins for those businesses, like, they're not crazy, right? They're not like, selling tech and software, right? So they're 100% right. Like, they're not dictating the prices entirely, right? But they have to make money. A lot of people don't realize that, right?
No,
I've heard people trying to negotiate for like boxes at a card show, and it's like, hey, why is this $10 more than what it is at MSRP? It's like, hey, well, people are trying to make money here, right? If you don't want to, you don't have to buy them from me. Yeah.
It's the way it is.
Yeah, they're not always getting the boxes at the same prices that like the big box retailers are getting them at. They're not buying massive bulk, right? So
no, because they have to worry about if they're gonna sit on the stock, and if they get stuck and then it goes down. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine it's a lot of guessing, but I think the trends in the certain products you could probably get a little more predictable around. But like all these new sets, dude, like all the Topps Chrome stuff, how would you know how much to buy of that?
I think that's an awesome question for the audience. I think that if you guys could ask one or two questions to a card shop owner, if you guys could ask one or two questions to a card shop owner, what would it be? We'd love to hear from you guys.
And why?
I have a ton of questions for card shop owners. We're going to get a couple on the show to kind of interview them. But what questions would you ask them? Let us know. Drop us a DM or something in the comments, and we'll try to get it asked and answer for you guys. So to land the plane and wrap things up, let's give some tips for the returners, right? Just to summarize, the hobby's changed a lot for sure, but the joy of collecting is still there. So my advice, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, is don't chase the hypes. Pick a lane, pick a team, pick a player, pick an era. Be focused. Don't go chasing whatever the hottest trend is and pay a ton of money for it just to see it drop, because I've been burned by that. One of my biggest mistakes, and my general advice that I can give to anybody is don't do that, because you probably have a bad time, and just get a little informed before you spend, right? There's so much information out there, YouTube's, websites, Instagram accounts that you can follow. They give you accurate pricing and product information. So do a little bit of research and don't chase the hype are my two biggest tips that I give to new people to starting that haven't collected in a while.
Yeah, those are good tips, Kev. Yeah, and I think my big tip of the day, Family Dollar. Second tip, cut those corners on the penny sleeves.
But look, all the excitement that you've had as a kid, it's all still here. It's definitely still on the hobby. So jump in. It's a really fun hobby, and I promise you'll have a great time.
We all need more card friends, and we're here.
No doubt. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode, card friends. If you're just getting back into the hobby, again, welcome back. And yeah, things have changed. But honestly, that magic, the pack opening, pulling big hits, buying that card that you've been searching for a long time, like you finally get as a kid, like that magic that you had as a kid, it's still there. You just got to find your lane. You just got to get your feet settled. And again, it's a really, really fun hobby. And if you feel a little less lost, or if you're feeling a little bit lost with all the terms that we throw in some of these episodes, go check out our last episode. That's a full beginner's guide to collecting in 2025, right? We break down the terms, the themes, the trends, and we tons of good information there. And if you get questions, stories, or just want to talk about your latest pull, hit us up on Instagram, right? And all socials at The Card Friends. It's at The Card Friends on all socials, all the usual places. We drop new episodes every Wednesday, so be sure to subscribe, like, and tune in. It always helps us out. And like we always say, we are all card friends here.
That's right, baby. Stay curious, stay collecting, stay cool. You like that one, Kev?
I love it. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.